my sisters, higher we shall go, moving forward.
How have you helped yourself? Because you see, opportunity is not about occupying a seat. Opportunity is about bringing value to the seat you occupy. Before you marry, you need to know who you are and where you're going to. Each time I face a hurdle, and I turn it, by the grace of God, I turn it into something positive. They don't have anything to do with their mind, because you've told their youthfulness, you've told their challenges, you've told the things that are supposed to give them the pride to say, this is my story. For me, I have a story, and that story has made Halima out of me.
Higher we shall go. With my sisters, I can never.
My name is Halima Usman. I love to abbreviate the M, so it's Halima M Usman. I am an author. I am a public officer working with the government. I am an advocate for children, for girls, for women, for youth generally. I am a die-hard advocate for youth. I'm also an advocate for the environment, because I am very particular about the environment we live in, how we treat the environment, because it comes back to us. So I'm also an advocate for the environment. I also run an NGO. That's where I use the platform I use for my advocacy. It's called HalimaFactor Community Initiative. It was registered sometime, it started in 2010 and officially registered with CAC in 2012. So we do a lot of activities that has to do with education, that has to do with health and the environment. We're particular about giving youth and young children an opportunity to discover themselves, to discover their talent, their abilities, and showcase it to the world. I always tell them that my platform is a place where you make all your mistakes. It's a training ground. When you're done making your mistakes here, we'll take you to the global field where you cannot afford to make a mistake. So you are free to make every mistake on HalimaFactor platform, because it's a modeling, it's a platform for you to grow. So we're particular about youths. We organize quite a number of activities to help our youths, from including children in the IDPs. We organize activities like one of our major, usually our last event at the end of the year is what we call the Northeast Festival of Literature, Culture, Creativity and the Sciences. So it's an event that brings together students from primary, secondary and tertiary institutions from the entire Northeast. We bring them together, we house them for a week for them to showcase their talents in prose, story writing, in poetry, in drawing, in scientific exhibitions, everything and anything that you think you have, bring it on board. This program is particularly dear to my heart because it started sometime in 2014, more or less in the heat of the Boko Haram. I remember then I was working in NIPSS in Maiduguri when a junior colleague of mine came to meet me and said, "Auntie Halima, where do I meet these Boko Haram people?" I said, "What's wrong with you? What do you need Boko Haram people for?" He said, "Auntie, they are paying good money." He's a very fun person. And then we joked it out anyway. It was just a joke. But 2011, I think that was 2010, 2011, I was posted from Maiduguri to Abuja. And by 2013, because of the heat of the crisis then, a lot of things was not happening in Maiduguri, including examinations and the likes. So they were traveling from Maiduguri to Gombe to come and write their promotion exams. And they were abducted on the road. Till today that I'm talking to you, both of them, I'm not even sure they are alive, because if they are alive, their family would have known by now. They would have come back home because they just got married. I was actually the person that did their wedding boxes, the two of them. So up to today, I was at that point, I felt, no, I have to do something so that our youth can see that their talent is enough. Their ability is enough. What they have on the inside is enough to feed them, is enough to make them rich. Whatever they need in life, what they have on the inside is enough. So that was how we started the Northeast Festival of Literature. Then it was called Gombe Day of Literature. And it gave children the platform. Youth were coming from all over the federation. Some people were coming from ABU Zaria to come and present their poems, to do all things. And at the end of the day, they win awards, they win scholarship and the likes. So that program is particularly dear to me because it is, like I said, I am particular about raising leaders. In fact, our motto in HalimaFactor is raising outstanding leaders who are responsive and responsible. So that program is just one of the many programs or many activities we do to raise youths who will become responsible leaders. And I was driven to do all of what I do on the premise of a quote I saw, I think by the former US President, JF Kennedy, who says, never ask what America can do for you, but what can you do for America? I don't know where I saw that quote, but that was the beginning. That was the unsettling point for me. Immediately I saw that, I realized that a lot of the time as Nigerians, we talk about Nigeria is bad, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is not favorable, Nigeria has done this, Nigeria has done that to us. We talk about so many negative things about Nigeria. But the question is, what are you doing for your country? Apart from HalimaFactor, I also do a lot of things. I do public speaking classes to teach. Mostly, I do that mostly for women, but lately I discovered a lot of men also asking me, what about us? I also, at one point or the other, I've served in various capacities. The Association of Nigerian Authors, I think I served as the chairperson of the Association of Nigerian Authors Abuja chapter for 2 consecutive tenures, during which time a lot of programs we were doing, advocacies, literary activities in schools, and even visiting the schools of the blind and the rest. So those are also passionate things that when I remember, it creates this kind of goose pimples on me, because again, as a leader then, I felt it was not just about being a leader, just occupying the position, but making it count, leaving a footmark. In fact, I remember just when the tenure was over, I had to plead. Somebody should take over, and they didn't want to. It was a serious plea. I had to keep begging. My tenure is over. They said, you have to continue. I said, no, I can't continue. Constitutionally, the tenure is over. Well, a lot of people are like, no, what you did, we're not sure we can do it or do at least as much as you have done. And I said, don't worry about what I've done. Just do your own. We're not the same. So yes, serving at that was another very interesting opportunity. I also sit in the board of trustees of some organizations apart from my HalimaFactor Community Initiative. The Mamman Jiya Vatsa Foundation, I sit as one of the board of trustee members. I am also a board of trustee member of SALT. We call it SALT. I also sit as a board member of 3G Network. It's also another NGO in Gombe State. Some young minds that came together to put themselves together again to see how they can project and push the society forward. And they contacted me some years back to sit as one of their board members. So I am presently one of their board members. I also serve as, I'm a member of Women in Energy, Oil and Gas Nigeria, where I was the former Deputy National Programs Director. Right now I think I'm taking a leave, but again I still have responsibility chairing some committees in that very, very important association, which is an association that brings women together in a male-dominated sector of the economy. The oil and gas sector, we all know, is a man's world. So we formed that association some years back, 6 years precisely, to give women a platform, to help women grow within the system, to project the issues of women. Again, back to the issues of affirmative action and all of that. So, sometimes we have to stand up and do certain things for ourselves. Many times women sit down and complain, the men are not giving us an opportunity, the men, But the truth of the matter is, I always say this, how have you helped yourself? Because you see, opportunity is not about occupying a seat. Opportunity is about bringing value to the seat you occupy. So if you're a woman, whatever you're doing, have you brought enough value there for people to reckon with you? Because if you do, then it will be difficult for people to lay you aside. Again, so that's what we do. So I also work as the technical advisor on media and communications to the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas. I'm still doing that. I'm an assistant director in the core service. And then lastly, but most importantly, I love God. Maybe that's a story for another day, but I have come to realize I always make fun in my family. My children know me with this. I said, nobody walks naked in the market space any longer. Everybody has his own, whether it's juju or charm or whatever you're wearing. For me, I rather wear God. And it looks beautifully well on me. So I love God. I grew up in Jos, actually, with my aunt, my mother's elder sister, who I call mommy because I really didn't grow up with my mother. And my mother died when I was much younger, but then I didn't even grow up with her. So I grew up with my aunt in Jos. She's a teacher, and she still is a farmer. She was a teacher and a farmer, but she's still farming up to today, even at old age. Even with her broken legs, she still goes to the farm. We grew up in a community where hard work, was important. I grew up in a society where it was communal upbringing for children, because I remember those days. If my mother, I would rather that my mother is around than my mother travels. Because if my mother is not around and I misbehave, the neighbors, they will punish me first. And when my mother is back, they will still come and report. Oh my God. And I was like, so it's better you don't travel, so that I know that it's one punishment than to have two of them. So it makes you to always sit tight, because you know that whether Momsi is around or not, somebody is there to take watch of what you're doing, to take note of it, and to correct you where need be. So yes, Momsi, that was the kind of society we grew up at, that one person's child is everybody's child, that one person's responsibility is everybody's responsibility. So that's the kind of society I grew up at. And then, like I said, Momsi, she's a disciplinarian. One, don't lie to her. She doesn't like it. If you do something wrong, immediately she's coming in. And I think that has helped me a lot. If she's just walking into the house, I go and just kneel down, Mama, this is what I have done. I have done A, B, C. You save yourself the wahala. If you allow her find out herself, you will regret it, because anything Mama can find, she will use it on you. So it's better you just confess your crime when she's walking. And I think that has been good for me, because a lot of people used to say that I am the favored one. Mama doesn't beat me that often. But it's not because she doesn't beat me, but because I think I understood her style. So at that young age, immediately I do something wrong, I try not to do it. But if I have done anything wrong, I quickly run to her and say, Mom, I was washing the plate and this one got broken. I'm sorry about it. She will rake, so now she may even beat me, but most of the time, since I have reported myself, she'll just only rake, and that is all. And then one other thing I love about Mama was that she's beating you with the right hand, she's drawing you back with the left hand. I remember many times that she would quarrel me or beat me, and then I'll go and hide behind the door, I'll cry and all of that. And small time, and she always comes back home with something. When she's coming from work, sugarcane, meat, akara, just think about it. So when she finished beating me, I'll go and hide behind the door. So one time when everything is gone, she's like, where is Halima? And I have to come back, and she will share the thing and say, take this one to that person, because I was the kid in the house. Take this one to that, take this one, we'll come and eat our own with her. So I think it taught me, it kind of instilled in me some kind of discipline. Because again, you dare not touch anything that you're not given. It's part of the discipline we have in the family. No lies, no touching anything you're not given. You cannot bring anything to the house that is not yours. So up to today, when my children come with anything, I ask you, where did you get it? Who gave you? You must give me full account of where you got that thing from. Because that was how we grew up. And even in my book, she checks as a teacher anyway, so it's only normal. So if you go to school, if you tear one paper, you will explain how you tear the paper. So It taught me the discipline of managing my things and being contented, that if I don't have, please. And yes, there was a time we really had she retired, daddy also has retired. So it was a very tough moment. But even in it, because they have taught us contentment, we could just manage the house like that. We could just live with whatever we had. We could just make soup with just the dawa, and water. And if we're lucky to have a small pepper, you pound it and put it inside. If you're lucky to have 5 naira Maggi, you make your miyan kuka and you eat it like that with gratitude in your heart. So those were the background, or those were the disciplines I had then that I think has shaped me into who I am, because I'm still contented. Anything I see I don't have at the moment, I'm not bothered, because I know with time it will come to me if it is meant to come to me. If it is not, and my children are used to it. Sometimes even when I don't have the money at home and what we have to eat is minimal, I just say, oh yeah, let's manage what we have. The day I have, I say, we're not cooking, let's go out and eat. So I am also trying to pass the same message across to my children, that please be contented with what you have and what you don't have. Don't eye anybody, just live your own life. And I also try to instill the discipline. Again, the family we grew up is a family of people that fear God. So you must wake up for prayers. In the night, we must have the prayer. So I still try to instill that discipline into my children of today, that we pray together, we do a lot of things together. So these are, should I say, disciplines over time that has made me who I am today. I started my primary school in Township Primary School in Jos, not too far from my house. That's where I did from nursery school till I graduated in my primary school. And then I went to Equa Staff Secondary School, still in Jos. It was a day school, and it's a distance from my house, but we usually trek it and trek back. Well, it was all part of the training, yeah. At that point, I think those were some challenging moments in the family where I think Popsy he was working before at some time, but later on he has resigned, and not too long afterward, Momsy also resigned her job, retired actually. So it was a little bit tough, but then it's part of the journey. So from there, secondary school, I went to Bacchus in Bauchi for my IGMB in 1997. Sorry, I did IGMB for 1 year. 1998, I went to University of Maiduguri to get admission, but I didn't get the admission that year until 1999. And that one too is another story of its own. It's a story of resilience, because in fact, the first list, second list, third list had all come out. My name was not there. I was almost giving up. I was almost giving up. That day I decided to pray and fast, and so I went to meet one man. I said, this is the last batch. The VC's list is the final list. And the VC's list is usually not placed. It's just the VC given some few people, I pleaded with this man. And he went and spoke and pleaded with the VC. And the VC gave me admission. And he came to the house and said that I should go to the VC's office and pick up my admission letter that same day. So when I went and picked up my admission letter, I told myself that I'm going to study hard, because I can't afford to disappoint this man that staked himself for me. So in school, in the University of Maiduguri, I lived this kind of triangular life. Class, from hostel to class, library, hostel, class, library. Everybody knew. I remember my brother's friend used to laugh at me. That he saw me, he said, I went to the library and I was asking the mega, they said the key is with you. I said, how can library key? He said the mega said he left you in the library last night, so he had to go because he wanted to close and you were not ready to close. So he just left the key with you, and I said, he's late now, but he always makes fun of me. He said, is the library open? I said, what do you mean the library? So he said, they used to leave the key with you, that's fine. So that was my life, but it helped me. I was doing it because I didn't want to disappoint that man. And again, like I told you, there were some difficulties at home, financial challenges. I knew that if I fail my exams, I'm on my own. Even from secondary school, I knew I had to work extremely hard. I didn't have textbooks going to school. Sometimes I didn't even have exercise books going to school. So, but I know I need to work hard. It was hard. You know, it was very hard. I go to school, I track home, all of that. But I knew I must pass my exam at one sitting. And so my prayer at all time was to always pass my exam at one sitting. So when I finally got the admission, and by the way, when I was going to Maiduguri, then I was very skinny. And I've never gone, all my life was just Jos and then maybe to the village. I never traveled on my own. For the first time, I was traveling to an unknown city to go and look for admission. It was tough. Momsi took me to the park, then in Jos, put me in the car. She refused to go. She would go and ask this one, are you going to Maiduguri? Please, my daughter is there. You know, all of that. I got there. It was something of what is all part of the experiences that teaches us who and make us who we are. So throughout my study life, I was disciplined. You know, sometimes people go to school and get carried away. You know, I remember one lady then, she came to school, gym in church. Before you know it, later she started, and that was all. I don't know how she graduated because it messed up with her academics. But for me, I knew I didn't have that luxury, number one. Number two, if you mess up, you will look for where to go to. So I concentrated. It was class, a hostel, library, and I'm happy to say that it paid off because I graduated with a second class upper. You know, it paid off, and the man that helped me secure the admission, got me admission in his department, and I can proudly say he's also very proud of me because I read myself. He's one disciplinarian too when it comes to academic pursuit. And I'm happy I worked with him all through. He supervised my undergraduate, he supervised my master's as well. So he again, I think that is where my authorship came to bear, started, or maybe it was birthed. Because he's a man that will make you write. You will study, he will give you a topic, especially during my master's, go and read, go and write. So I will read and then do a very concise, not a summary. I would do a very good presentation of what I've read. So I think it was from there, because I used to be lazy about writing that much. But it was when I met him, especially even from undergraduate. So because I was working, because he was supervising me, so I had to work and do a good job. And that was how I think it graduated me into my writing. Then I was just writing my thoughts like poems. I didn't even know they were poems, so I was just doing it. And then, but in the process of meeting this man, it graduated me into an author that I am today. Not just writing poems, but I'm also writing children's stories and other. I was employed in 2006, then by the President Obasanjo. So they call us the Obasanjo children, who were employed, I think about 1,000 of us across the Federation. People with first class and second class offer were given automatic employment into the service. So that was when I got employment after staying for about 2-3 years at home, you know. So that was the opportunity I had to join the Federal Civil Service. And then because my husband and my children were, my husband was in Maiduguri, I asked to be posted to Maiduguri, and I was working with the National Poverty Eradication Program, NIPSS office in Borno. It was in 2011 that I was posted to here after the crisis. I came to the Ministry of Petroleum Resources since 2011. So you can imagine I've been here since 2011 till now, in and out, back and forth, you know. So I grew through the ranks from an admin officer. I'm still in the admin line, and right now, currently, I'm an assistant director in that line as well. So I'm still in the ministry, and that has been my journey so far. I have had my own challenges in life, and I think the challenge I had faced is what has pushed me into a lot of the things I am doing right now. But it was in the midst of all of this that I think God opened my eyes to see that you can always use your pain for the good of others. So that was where I started my NGO activities. It was not registered then, but I was just looking for what can I be doing. Just find something doing that you transfer this negative energy into something positive and something impactful to society. So I started gathering children in our neighborhood, children's club. Come. Children, carry my salary, go and buy things. Come, let's do children's club and teach you how to write, how to read, how to do handle anything you want to do. Just come. The whole essence was just to keep my head on my neck, because I was already getting out of myself. So that was how I started. But I think, again, God was using it to direct me to something greater than I am. And today, when I look back, I can see all the things that has happened. It all was birthed out of my pain. None of the good things I have achieved was birthed out of my comfort. No, they were all birthed out of pain, whether family pain, whether marital pain, challenges in the office, all of that. So each time I have, even in the office, when I have challenges, and there were a lot of course, some people don't understand. They see you, they think you're shining. They think, this, and then they want to, so sometimes, and I don't have the strength to fight. I'll just withdraw and go and look for somewhere. In fact, when I went to the National Institute, it was because my boss said, there's no office, there's no work. I said, no problem, sir. I wrote for my leave, one month leave. And I went to do a short course in the National Institute. When I came back, I resumed. He said, there's no work. I said, no problem. I registered with Yale University online. I was doing my course, another 1 month course. So each time I face a hurdle, and I turn it, by the grace of God, I turn it into something positive that has added either a feather to me, or has strengthened my muscles, and has sharpened my resolve and my focus towards achieving what I want to achieve. So all of this has helped me. And it is in the midst of all of these challenges that I'm finding who I am. And I'm being a healing to others. I'm using my platform, whether I'm teaching, like I said, I'm raising youth. I'm becoming a role model for others to say, okay, this. And then another thing I resolve within all of these challenges is that there are certain things I've told myself, no matter what happens, I will not do. I have a name to protect. So no matter what I am going through, there are certain things, it's a no for me. Even if I'm down, I remain where I am. I won't go out of those. I put a personal creed that these things is a no. And it has helped me. God has helped me. Because sometimes in the midst of all of this challenge, you want to run here, run there. In the running here and running there, you fall into traps. So what I did was to just withdraw, stay on my own, and then face myself and my God. And it has helped me. So today I look at it and I laugh, I realize that honestly, any life that does not have challenges is not a fun life to live. It's just too boring, too dry. So what stories do you have to tell? If you look at most of the big people I've met today, when you sit down with them, they tell you their stories. You say, okay, you went through this, okay. And it made them who they are. So if you don't have any challenges in life, how do you become somebody great? Because those are the things that build a resilience. And I keep telling parents, we have reached a situation in our life as parents, we want to write exam for our children, we want to pay them through every other thing. And that's why our children are going to drugs, they are doing all kinds of things. Why? Because they feel you've taken their youth away. Those experiences are the things that build their muscles, that build them, that make them who they are. Now you have paid it through. What else do they have to do? Is it not to join cult? Is it not to drink cocaine and all of the nonsense? Because they don't have anything to do, to use their brain to do. They don't have anything to do with their mind, because you've stole their youthfulness. You've stole their challenges. You've stole the things that are supposed to give them the pride to say, this is my story. For me, I have a story. And that story has made Halima out of me. I'm not sure that without those stories, I would have been where I am today. Those stories actually made me who I am. And those stories are taking me to even greater. Sometimes when I remember one time I was talking with my deputy governor. I said, Halima, do you know you're the only one that doesn't know who you are? I said, how do you mean? He said, do you know when we sit down to talk about you? Do you know the things we talk about you? You are our pride. But you are here complaining. I said, since that day, I said, no more complaining. Because sometimes you don't even know how far you've gone, how far you've grown in the ladder of life. You still look at yourself as that small person. I was in the defense headquarters, and my son was like, Mommy, did you see the way this... I said, I beg, spare me. But that's the truth. When you look back, you see how far God has taken you. It all is a result of the scars. Those scars are beautiful landmarks that said, I've gone through this, I've grown, I've achieved it, and I can now put my hand down and say, come, you're going through the same, I can hold you. I've seen the road. I know how it is. I've seen the hurdles along the road, and I can help you, guide you through if you really want to grow. And together we can. It makes the journey more lovelier because you can now reason. In those days, I used to feel very bad when I see women doing something. I say, why is this woman doing things? But now, I become more empathetic because now I understand what they are going through. So, it's okay. Let me make that point crystal clear. It's okay to lose it once in a while. But the only problem is that don't let it drain you to the ground. It's okay to fall, but don't remain on the ground. You can fall, you can cry. I cry a lot. Even this morning, my sister will tell you, I was on my knees crying on the ground. It's okay. If there are things you don't understand, it's fine to lose it. It's fine to cry. It's fine. You've done something. You've lost some money because of your carelessness. It's okay. You lost it. No, your marriage is not working the way you wanted it. The way the fairy tale marriage is, it's okay. It happens. You're not the only one going through it. It's okay to lose it. But don't stay on the ground. Why and how? Each time you stay on the ground, you defeat not only yourself, but a generation of people that look up to you. Each time you lose it and remain there, you destroy the purposes of many women that are attached to you directly or indirectly. When I teach leadership class, like I said, I do public speaking, I do leadership, I do communication. One of the things I tell them in leadership class is, I say each one of us, every blessed day influences 10,000 people. Every blessed day, not tomorrow, not in a month, not in a week, every blessed day. How many are we in this room? We are 5, right? I've spoken my mind. She has heard, you have heard, and others have heard. Some of the things I've said will touch you. And it will also influence the way you do or relate with the next person. And that thing that you do with the next person will also, and that person, let's assume each one of us will meet five people every day. Now I've met 5 of you today. You will go and meet another 5. Those 5 will also meet another 5. Do the maths. So, it's okay to fall. But when you fall, do 2 things. Like I said, fault is never one-sided. Look at where you have also contributed to your pain. And now begin to tell yourself, what do I need to do differently? Not all marriages must end in divorce. You see, the mistake we have nowadays is that we believe that marriages now are not the same as they were before. I agree. But the truth of the matter is that the differences in people is the same. A man coming from his home and you coming from your own home, different background, is the same. So, when you have lost it, when you have fallen, when you have cried, pick up yourself. How do you pick up yourself? You can't go running elsewhere. Go to your maker, the source. Again, this is where a lot of people make mistakes. They start going from here to there, from this person to that person. You miss it. In certain climes, when you see a child picking up phone, scattering the phone and doing things, you don't rebuke him. You watch. It tells you something about the child. This child, or when you see a child, he will just carry your, maybe say this printer or this laptop, dismantle it. In your head, he is spoiling it. But somebody that knows what is happening will pay attention. It means the child has affinity. Something is drawing him towards there. And if you watch carefully, that probably is where his gifting is. But in this climb of the world, this child. So from there, we started shaping the children to where they were. No, don't do this. No, this is it. And a lot of the time, including our choices of career, parents decide. Now, law, you must study law. You must be a doctor. If you can't be, so from childhood, we have shot our children. And so because we've shot them, when it comes to life decision, because including that career is a life decision. Many people are doing the work. Yesterday, I was talking to somebody and I asked her, I said, is this what you wanted to do? He said, no, but that was it. Even today, I asked the girl that my son came with his friend who they were doing service here together. I said, what is she saying? She said she's saying microbiology. I said, is that what you wanted? She said, no, that's the course they gave her, so she just took it. So what do you want? She said she wants to do medicine. At least that's what she wanted to do, medicine. So no problem. When you're done from this one, you can now divert. I have a friend who, when he finishes, he said, I have finished what my father wanted. I'll give them their certificate. I'm going to arts. And he was almost going cocoa. I think he was the first person that did my drawings of me and my environment. He did sketches. This guy is sound, but he was already going cocoa and almost taking some things I didn't understand. Why? Because his parent wanted him to do something else. That's not what he wanted. He said, I'm done. This is their certificate. Now I'm going back to what I'm doing. So he loves to sketch. He loves to draw and all of that. You know. But because he was doing what his parent wanted, he was growing nuts. So again, all of these are life factors. These are life opportunities that if you temper with it for the rest of the life of that child, you may be living like you're not living. It took me years to recover who I am. I knew the dreams I had when I was 9 years old. I knew what God showed me I was going to be when I was 9 years old. But I have totally deviated from me because of the situations and circumstances that had happened to me. In fact, at a point, it took me time. I'm still battling to really, really, really know and really know. Sometimes I ask myself, I say, God, when I look at my age, I say, do I still have the time? I have wasted so many years on this ladder and it was not the ladder I'm supposed to be. So do I still have the time to come back here and still achieve those things that God showed? So to parents, I want to say, please. Initially, I've talked about the fact that parents steal or they purchased the life of their children because they pay for everything, including the experiences that should make these children who they are. Now again, I want to say that including their life choices, career choices, friends choices, marriage choices, all of these things, many a times we influence it because we feel, especially now that they are doing arranged marriage. No, it has to be rich man. Oh no, it has to be Yoruba. You know, it has to come from my area. I understand there are some cultures that may be not too that easy for you to understand how it is. But if it is the will of God for them to get married, what is it? So again, I keep telling my daughter, I say, see, when you are getting ready to get married, make sure it's your friend though. If you don't marry your friend, you are in for trouble. Because there will be challenges in every marriage, including the one that you love. But if it is a friend, if it is your choice, it's easier. You will get angry, you will do this, you will do that. But after all of that said and done, you will come back. You will remember the friendship you once shared. There will be something that will make you come back to it. So I urge parents, please allow these children to listen to their hearts. We want them. We want to push them. Yes, it's good to guide. But don't rule. You have lived your own life. What do you want to live your children's life again for them? Because that's exactly what is happening. The mistakes you did in the past, you're trying to correct it in the life of your children. Allow them to make their own mistake, to correct themselves by themselves and move on. So you can only be a pillar, be a light unto them, be a guide. Let them go through it. Be careful, watch and see and observe. From their choices, let their voice. I think one of the major problems we have here, you know this, we grew up with this reset button that you cannot talk. So we have bottled, children are bottled from youth. Such, even when it comes to marital issues, they are bottled to take a decision. Nowadays, I'm telling my son, when he calls me, mommy, this, I said, take your decision. Why must you ask me? Say, hey, mommy, because you know now. I said, no. Me, I know my own. Do your own so that you too, you can know what to tell your children in the future. Why must you ask me? So that as I get angry with myself, must you ask me every tiny details? And then that shows me that probably I've been an overshadowing picture in their life. I take most of the decisions for them. So now I want to back off a bit so that I can allow them. Take the risk yourself. Do your own mistake. Have your own. I know that the society is that bad because we are scared. You know, so much has happened. So much has changed. It's not like it was before. But then, you still have to only guide these children, not to enforce your will on them. So I encourage parents to please allow those children to take their time. What you can do for your child is introduce them to God early. and introduce them to an opportunity to find themselves early. If they can find themselves, if they can know themselves early, you've done your part. Allow them. Honestly, if any girl that will read my story, I want you to find who you are. Everybody that God has created has a purpose. Just find who you are and what that purpose is good enough. You're good to go. All of this confusion will be made minimal if you discover yourself early. And again, back to parents, please allow the voices of these children to rise. Let them know who they are from the beginning. Don't call. A lot of the times we parents, I wrote a poem. I don't want to be confused. As a child, I don't want to be confused. My first book, I don't want to be confused between what I hear and what I see. Because parents will say, don't do this, but do this. And then you are doing something different. Allow these children to find who they are. If a child can find, or a girl can find herself and find herself early, let that voice rise. And especially fathers, I want to plead with you for young girls. Any lady you see that is triumphing, that is becoming who she is, check her life. You will see that her father figure is there. There's something about, if you see a girl that is outspoken, outgoing, happy, she's all of that, her father figure is intact. Any girl that you see is timid, is shy, is scared, is what? The father figure, there's a problem with the father figure. So I want to plead, especially with fathers. Women blend more with their sons, girls blend more with their fathers. Please, if you are a father, don't just look for the money, look for the time to spend with these girls. They need to know what love means. They need to know what affection. Sometimes I tell myself, I say, it seems that there's still that small girl inside of me that wants to be hugged, that wants to hear my father say, don't do this. So it's there. So help. Only a man, sincerely speaking, a woman can do her best. But the truth of the matter is only a man can help a woman, a girl, find herself. Especially her father figure. Whether biological or by any means, whether you talked about the church and all of that in the religious world, only a man, truly. Most of the people that have helped me to where I am are mostly men. Being a prudent woman means being a godly woman, being the light that shines forth. Being a prudent woman is a woman that influences or helps others to see the road. For me, that's what makes me, or what I feel a prudent woman should all be about. A lot of the times we get carried away with the jewelries and all that. No, calm down with that. If you wear all the jewelries and your life does not impact on any other person, it's as good as useless. It's as good as you never lived. When I was in Maiduguri, I remember there was this woman. She came to my shop. I had a boutique. She wanted to buy clothes for her daughter. So she saw the dress. She liked it. She said, but the daughter was not here and she didn't carry any money. She said, can you give it to me? I'll bring you the money. I said, oh, how do I give you when I don't know you? She said, she's the wife of this professor. That she was using her husband, her house, to describe who she is supposed to be. That big house there, that's what that professor. I was like, excuse me, I don't know you. I don't know your husband. Somebody had to come and say, no, don't worry, I know her. You can. I said, fine. Somebody has said he knows you. Just go with it. But that taught me a lesson. This is 2010, 2011. That taught me a lesson. We have lost our identity under the identities of others, husband, work, and all of that. So for a prudent woman, what does it mean to be a prudent woman? It means not losing your light. It means not losing your taste. It means not losing your ability to influence other people and be the light. I saw one video that is disheartening, that a woman can chase a young girl out of her house in the middle of the night for what reason? Because she did what? That you will forget your humanity for the sake of material things? No, that's not prudence at all. A 5-year-old child, where will that child be? Working, probably in nursery school or going to primary school. So it's exciting. So I can already see that the child is growing, the child is going somewhere. And I'm happy that the child is not just an ordinary child, but a prudent child. And that child is going somewhere to happen by raising the next generation of women that are going to be prudent, that are going to be outstanding leaders, that are going to change the narrative. I see what we do in Prudent Women. It's exciting. Sometimes I don't talk, I just read and listen and just keep quiet and but it's exciting because when you see the stories, the financial help that women get out of Prudent Women, the spiritual support, the family support, the peer support self is enough, and every other thing. So I am excited that Prudent Women is 5. I can already see 10. I can see 20 as God gives us life. So I'm happy that it's happening, and I wish us greater success, and I wish every prudent woman all the best in her life and in her journey, and I'm wishing her that she will continue to be that prudent woman she wants to be, and pass it on, pass the torch on to her children. In fact, my son also does Prudent Women. So it's not just about girls or women at all. So I'm excited that we're passing the torch not just to girls, but also to boys and everybody. Because when you raise girls and you don't raise boys, you are also creating another problem. So kudos to Prudent Women, and I wish us many more years in God's presence, in goodness, and everything that we desire in our heart. But most importantly, as people who will determine in their heart to change this country for better and the world, because we have prudent women all over the world. So I'm praying that these women will be the change maker, the change agents that we desire to see in this world. Even as it gets darker, let the light of prudence rise in us.